Good morning, good morning. Do, 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 do. Good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to a daily dose of joy. We are here to dose our brains in solidarity, on the fly, throughout the day, shifting momentum that might be getting bogged down to a momentum that is lifting us up. And we're leveraging neuroscience to do it with these simple habits. And today we're going to use the Whoopsie Daisy tool. Whoop, whoop, whoopsie daisy, whoopsie daisy. It operates on so many levels to improve what our brain can do. It helps us build a pattern of when life brings wobbles, that we start training ourselves to look for the humor and the lighthearted aspects of it, so that it doesn't, we put some spin and polish on those wobbles and those discomforts and those challenges and those traffic jams and those broken objects, so that it is not just about the resistance and the discomfort or the challenge, that there's this balance to it. We have this capacity to also get that more distant view, be more the observer and see the humor. As well as we're trying to tell our friends these stories. So it helps us with connections, helps us with engaging the hippocampus and memory recall. So get out there and tell your Whoopsie Daisy stories. Or if you're not quite confident enough to share your own, feel free to share mine. This happened to a friend of mine. And but today's theme is lost, but not lost. So I was looking through some Whoopsie Daisies, and what inspired me was just how hard I laughed at looking at a Whoopsie Daisy notes I had from a friend who had told me about this funny Whoopsie Daisy. She had gone out to a barbecue, out to a party, met with friends, and one of the people was there with some beautiful new high-end glasses, the kind that are clear indoors, but then when you go outside, they sort of tinted themselves just a little bit so that he could still see really well, even in the bright light of the sunshine. And the buffet was inside and the seating was outside. And on his transition from the buffet out, he realized that one of the lenses had fallen out of his glasses. And so my friend's like, how'd you notice that it fell out? And he said, well, all of a sudden everything went blurry in one eye and I couldn't see. So she and her husband volunteered to help him look for the missing lens. And it popped out the guy's like, it must have popped out right here, within this 2 feet radius of inside to outside, because all of a sudden everything went blurry. And they're helping him because of course he can't see so great out of one eye now. And so after a while, a number of party goers are on the ground looking for the missing lens from these eyeglasses that had popped out. And people are all crawling around. And then finally he's just like, okay, the party must go on. And everybody sits down and brings their drinks to this picnic table to enjoy their barbecue. And one of them is sitting, the guy who with now only one lens in his glasses, is drinking his beer. And my friend looks over and is like, what's that? And she's pointing at the bottom of his beer glass. And sure enough, the eyeglass lens is floating in his beer glass. So the whole time that they had been looking, he had been holding it in his hand. Lost, but not lost. Lost in plain sight. But you can imagine a lens with the ice, the beer could blend in. But being out there in the sunshine and sitting for a minute, it had gotten darker. So they saw it and found it. Whew. And so I just thought of the times that I've thought things were lost, but not lost. One of which happened very recently, which was also the spur for going back and looking at her story. It's because I was like, what was that happened? Because this one was was with my son. We were traveling and he's borrowing, I have some nice earbuds that I was gifted for Christmas and he's borrowing them. We're back and forth and using them. And I look in the case, there's only one in the case. And I'm like, oh, where did that other one go? Like, I'm so careful to put them back in their case, and take them out and use them, put them back in their case. And I am spent like 20 minutes like looking and looking. We're just in a tiny hotel room. There's not that much room. We haven't been too many places. But we had been down to breakfast. But I was like, I didn't take them down there. And I started like doing that great thing their mom too. She's like, where was the last time you remember having it? And I often just wear one, especially if I'm taking a call. I like to walk when I'm on phone calls, and so I'll pop one in. And I was like, well, I think I remember popping one in for that phone call that happened. Mom and Dad were coordinating us to go down, and then they showed up at the door. And I was like, okay, well, maybe. And then it dawned on me that I had gotten into the elevator with one in my ear. And instead of going back up the elevator and putting them all away, I just tucked it in my bra. That was a nice secure location for the errant earbud, and totally forgot about it until that moment when I put it together and I looked down and it was like I had a third nipple. Lost but not lost. There with me all the time in plain sight. Oh, God. Third nipple earbuds. Who knew? I could start a trend. Whoopsie daisy. Oh. So that takes me to the last of our trilogy of lost but not lost whoopsie daisy stories. The other one, I think I've shared this with you guys before, is that I do not take my computer to bed with me. But there had been this night that it was an exception, and I don't remember what it was, but I had. And then the next day, I'm at my desk, I'm like, where is my computer? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I had it upstairs in my room. Okay, go up to my room. It's not there. I'm like, oh, of course, I'm sure I brought it back down. Go back down. It's not there. I look at a couple of places where this kind of relatively small little laptop where it might be tucked, and can't find it. Then I go back, I'm like, I'm going to go look at the bed again. And I have made the bed, beautifully done, and there is no laptop sitting on the bed, until I decided to reach under the pillows, and I have made up the bed with the laptop inside, tucked up under a pillow. Lost but not lost. Oh my goodness, that was so funny. I just started laughing right away. Oh, there it is. Couple of good stories, couple of good laughs. Activating my parasympathetic rest and digest system with a good yawn. It's always a good marker that you're starting to relax when you have a good yawn. Wow, let's take 3 solidarity breaths and savor